Have you ever wondered which foods had holy origins? Before we answer this, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss any of our videos. Also, if you have any questions about the faith that you need answers to, let us know in the comments below. Okay, so the Catholic Church has a deep relationship with food. From special foods to celebrate feast days to the sacramental bread and wine, food is an integral part of Catholic life. Right from medieval times, monasteries have been self-sufficient with their extensive gardens and farms that produced fruits, vegetables, and grains for their nourishment. But did you know that some of the food items we consume on a regular basis in our modern lives have close connections with the Catholic Church? Today, we look at 4 foods and beverages that has its roots in the Catholic faith. Let's look at the first one, cheese. Now, many of the cheeses we use today have their origins in medieval times. While the process of making cheese from milk was not unknown at that time, the monks played a huge role in the variety of cheeses available today. In those days, the monasteries required the monks to maintain cattle and farmland in order to be self-sustaining. The cheese was probably developed as a way of preserving the huge quantities of milk produced by the cows for longer. Since refrigeration was not possible, converting the milk into buttermilk and cheese helped solve the problem. Gradually, the monks began to experiment with the time and process involved in aging cheeses. This led to the production of a variety of cheeses with different tastes and textures. Probably the oldest cheese created by monks would be Brie. Brie was first created in the area of Meaux and Melun, 35 miles east of Paris, by 7th century Benedictine and Cistercian monks. According to tradition, Brie became famous after a visit to the monastery by the Holy Roman Emperor Charlemagne. He is said to have loved it so much that he asked for it to be delivered all the way to his capital, Aachen, which is in modern-day Germany. Another famous cheese produced by Catholic monks was Parmesan cheese. The first recorded version, Parmigiano Reggiano, was produced around 1254 AD by a group of Benedictine monks living in the Parma Reggio region of Italy. Beer. Another contribution made by the monks to the culinary world is beer. Beer is closely associated with the Trappist monks of France. Beer had become a very common part of the medieval diet. In fact, at the time, beer was even safer to drink than water. The 4 main ingredients in beer are malt, water, yeast, and hops. It was the monks who discovered that adding hops not only improved the quality and flavor of the beer, but also helped preserve it for a longer time. The process of boiling the hops eliminated all bacteria and so helped make it safer to drink than water, especially at a time when people were up against terrible plagues and diseases. As one story goes, Saint Arnold of Metz, the patron saint of brewers, apparently was able to convince people to drink beer instead of water during a plague, and this led to many lives being saved. By the end of the Middle Ages, beer brewing had become an art and specialized skill that was no longer limited to monasteries. Bread. What is something that most people probably have for breakfast and was developed by 7th century Catholic missionaries? The answer is white bread. This food that most of the world eats on a daily basis, especially in Goa, was popularized largely due to the influence of Catholic missionaries who were evangelizing England. St. Augustine of Canterbury, known popularly as the Apostle to the English, converted the kings of Kent, Essex, and Anglia in 604 AD. As part of their long-term mission, they brought along wheat bread. At the time, wheat had long since disappeared from England's supply of crops, and so bread was made of other grains like spelt or emmer. St. Augustine, who made sure that the Eucharist was made from wheat, even had the flour or white bread shipped from other parts of Europe to England. As the demand for white bread grew, wheat was grown in more parts of the country and mills were set up to help process the flour. Soon, the flour was exported to other countries, eventually causing it to become a staple part of the diet in almost every part of the world. Coffee. Now, the final item on our list is something most of us need in order to start our day. There's nothing better than the smell of fresh coffee in the morning. However, coffee wasn't always a part of everyone's morning routine. Coffee owes its popularity to Pope Clement VIII. Unlike the other items on this list, coffee was not invented or developed by Catholic monks. Coffee has existed from the 9th century onwards, after Muslim clerics figured out how to cultivate and brew coffee beans. When coffee was first brought to the Christian world, it was viewed with suspicion since it was something produced by Muslims who had been warring with Christians for a few centuries at that point. Coffee was even labeled the devil's drink or Satan's drink. However, over time, this exotic concoction spread to other countries and eventually reached the Vatican. According to tradition, many advised the Pope against drinking coffee. They even suggested that it should be banned due to its association with the devil. However, Pope Clement VIII refused to ban it without trying it first. So he took his first sip of a coffee and allegedly exclaimed, "This devil's drink is delicious. We should cheat the devil by baptizing it." And so coffee received a papal blessing and was no longer referred to as a devil's drink. Instead, it became one of the most popular drinks of all time. So, the next time you have a slice of pizza, drink some beer, have a sandwich, or drink your morning coffee, remember their Catholic heritage and the fascinating impact the Catholic Church has had on the culinary world. So, what do you think about this? Did you know about the religious origins of these foods before? Do you have any special regional foods that were developed by the Catholic community? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, let us know by liking and subscribing to our channel. It really helps us a lot. Until next time.